Yo, 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 we're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Now, if anyone's watching this video after the fact, you didn't get to see it live and you're bummed about it, don't worry. This weekend, Saturday, May 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to go live here on YouTube. We're going to be watching UFC 249 together. So you can be like, yo, Shane, did you see this? What'd you think of that? Like, yo, dude, this is what I thought of that. So tune in. Set a reminder on your phone, May 9th for 249. Watch it with me here on fightTIPS. For everyone who isn't here live, what's up, everybody? Where's everyone tuning in from? How's everything going? How's quarantine and all that? I'm sweating. I'm hot. I just finished up filming 5 hours worth of a fighting foundations course for fightTIPS.com. It was a lot. It was comprehensive. I've been working on it for a long time. Excited to finally get to edit it and put it up on the website, though. It's going to be a game changer for a lot of people. And it's going to expedite the learning process and how long it takes to start picking up the basics. You see this? Look at his hair. Look how long I got. I'm growing it out. Not doing the dreads again, but I'm definitely growing it out. What you think? Netherlands, what up, what up? That was my last trip, was to Amsterdam. I loved it. Ohio, Hawaii, London. What's up, everybody? Do you value speed or power more? I'd say neither. I'd say technique. I'd say timing. I'd say understanding range. Seriously. It took me years to realize that, but start to focus on technique, start to focus on your timing, accuracy, and speed and power will come with that. Thank you. MMA KO says, seriously, huge respect for your channel, bro, from Boston. We got love from Michigan. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Maryland, Beatty, Detroit. Ricardo and Joey should spar. Eventually, they will. They will. It was funny. We got Vietnam. Who wants me to say their name? Real quick, I'm going to say their name. Wakil. Yeah, Joey. And it was funny because we were getting Ricardo ready for his amateur debut in the Golden Gloves. And he's the same weight as Joey, except Ricardo didn't realize that there's open class and novice class. And he thought for sure that he was going to go up against Joey. He's like, I'm ready for him, even though it would have been his debut. And Joey's had, how many fights did he have? He's in like 30 fights or so. So I love how game Ricardo is. He's a fighter, man. Got a good one. All right, I'm trying to follow everything here. I'm trying to grab a good question. Thank you for the jawline comment. I appreciate that. It's because I'm clean shaven. I'm usually hiding it behind some scruff. Man, you guys typing too quick. It's hard to follow. Any tips on how to move forward while throwing the cross? Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, let's go over that. Just a reminder real quick, because I know people are just tuning in. Nice. We got over 300 people already. 3 minutes in. I love it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Just a reminder that this Saturday is UFC 249, May 9th. So right when the main card starts, or right before, at around 7 p.m. Pacific time, that's 10 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to go live here on fightTIPS. So it's going to be me, Vince, and two of my buddies, and we're going to be talking about is there any football fans in here? You guys know Dean Blandino, the rules officiator? He's one of my clients. He's going to be tuning in with us too. All right, let me answer that question real quick, and then I'll jump back to the chat. So someone asked about how to advance forward when throwing the cross, the rear straight. Which is a really good question, because as we're taught, most times as beginners, coaches will teach us to pivot, to rotate the hips and pivot on that rear foot. So it's like, all right, well, how do I advance forward? Here's what I like doing. Here's what I like teaching is advance forward with a 1-2. That you know how to do, right? You know how to advance on the jab. So the lead foot steps when we throw the jab. You can see that foot, right? Let me just drop it a little bit real quick. And let's try that. How's right there? That. Okay. So we step on the jab with the lead foot. Now step with the rear foot when you throw the cross. Bang. So I covered the distance. So, and you're probably going to be like, well, I asked how to advance on the cross. That's advancing on the jab. What I like doing is I'll pump that as this lead hand, as a fake jab, or as a block, as a pillar. So let's say they're throwing a right hand. I can crash the range and advance with that foot. And then, bang, as I throw the cross, the pivot happens midair, and I stab the ground with the ball of my foot. That's how I like advancing with that one, right? So, like I said, most people will teach this to pivot. Do that motion, but do it midair. So I step. Now I'm advancing forward. Because right here, I can't hit Bob. But if I step first, bang, I can do it as a pump fake, pump cross, or jab cross. All right. And then you can also shift step too. So I can throw the right hand, bang, and then the rear leg trails. Triple G uses this one a lot. Lomachenko uses this one a lot where he goes, bang, and you got a nice angle for body shots, what have you. All right. The chat is flooded. I'm back. More interactive videos like head movement. Yeah, next week, I have it recorded. I just haven't released it yet. Virtual sparring, which I've been doing for years. I think the first time I did it was like 5 or 6 years ago, where it's me standing in front of the camera and I'm throwing punches and you have to evade, you have to block, and you have to counter back. I know a lot of people like that as like a shadowboxing reference. So we're getting the 249 questions. Gaethje and Ferguson. Who do I think? I'm going Ferguson. Here's the reason. I think Gaethje's always dangerous. I think he's got that knockout power. I think he's got that heart. But based on interviews, mentally, I think he's going into this with doubts, and I think he's going in with not a losing mindset, but he's kind of already creating an excuse. He was saying that he was scared, and that he's expecting to get his nose broken and things like that. And it's usually not like the champion mindset that you want to have when you're going into a fight. So anything can happen, but I think the weapons and the unorthodox of Tony Ferguson is going to pose too much of a problem for Gaethje. And think about it, like you can find guys who fight like Gaethje for sparring, but how are you going to have anyone that emulates Tony Ferguson for a sparring match and prepare for a guy like that? So I see Ferguson stopping Gaethje with I'm thinking like a TKO stoppage due to cuts or TKO stoppage, ground and pound, that kind of thing. And then Pettis and Cerrone. You know what? I think both fighters are active fighters. Of course, no one's more active than Cerrone, but I do think that on a striking level, Cerrone has great striking. I'm a big fan of his striking, but I think Pettis will edge him out just a little bit more. I think he's a little bit better with his timing, mixes it up a little bit more. I could see similar happening in what happened in the first fight. So I'm going to go with Pettis over Cerrone. I'm going to go with Ferguson over Gaethje, and Cejudo and Cruz. This one I really like. This one's interesting because you got a guy who moves a lot, and you got a guy who's very precise, a guy who's very accurate. So, and I don't know if you guys follow. I know a lot of people follow. I'll answer that head kick question in a second. A lot of people follow Cejudo because of the cringe, or they don't follow him because of the cringe. But if you watch his workouts, man, I love the stuff that he's doing with Neuroforce, Neuro One, where his coach will throw a rod, a stick, and it'll half of it will be red, half of it will be green. They'll throw it up in the air, and as it's midair, they'll say left hand green, and he's got to real quick react and grab it. That's great kind of training for timing and reaction and accuracy. And then you got Cruz, who's really evasive, really good head movement. So it's going to be interesting to see that who's going to win that, the evasive fighter or the accurate fighter. What I predict happening is if I were getting them prepared, I would tell Cejudo to be blasting kicks. If I were to fight someone like Cruz, who's very evasive, focuses a lot on moving the head and agile footwork, I would say blast body kicks, blast head kicks, and chop those legs out with low kicks. So if we see leg kicks early from Cejudo, I'm going to go Cejudo. But if he gets caught in the game, if he follows the pace of Cruz, then I'm going to go Cruz. Everyone's going down the list. So Ngannou, Rosenstrike. You know what? Rosenstrike's got the experience over Ngannou. He's got the kickboxing experience, right? Doesn't he have something like 70 kickboxing matches? One punch knockout power. Of course, Ngannou has ridiculous power with his punches. We know that. That's going to be an interesting one. I think that one I'm going to go. It's a hard one to predict, but I think I'm going to go based on the guy who has more experience. I'm going to say Rosenstrike on that one. But that should be a fun one to watch, man. Big dudes throwing. I think someone's going to get clipped. I think someone's going to get put out. And then my girl Michelle's fighting. Karate Hottie is fighting Carla Esparza. That's going to be a great. I think that fight might steal the show. I think that might be the best one. It's going to be hard to go against Gaethje and Ferguson, but I still think that's going to be a great fight. Both super tough fighters. Very different styles. You got more of a striker in Michelle, and then you got more of a wrestler in Carla. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think that we're going to see a lot of hands and feet, high and low, mixing it up from Michelle, and I think that's going to pose a big threat for Carla. And I think Carla is going to try to close the distance, try to take her down. But I think she's going to have trouble doing that. I think Michelle's got really good hip tosses. She's got good takedown defense. And she's good off her back too, right? She's got really good elbows off her back, similar to Ferguson. Israel versus Khabib. What weight division? What weight class is that? Let me jump back real quick. I saw someone asked about how to set up a head kick, different head kick setups. And let's just real quick talk about, like, always go hands to, not always, but a very good rule of thumb to follow is hands to feet. I got you. Keaton, Bundy's said, yeah, how do you set up that head kick? So hand to feet, right? You can go same side hand, same side foot, or opposite. So I can go left jab, boom, right head kick, right? Left jab, right head kick. And that left jab doesn't even have to have the intention of landing, but it has to pose a threat. They have to flinch, they have to blink, they have to bite down and get a little heavy on their feet. And when they do, that's when I land the head kick, okay? It can be, again, switch it to the opposite. I got the right hand. I can do a switch step, or I can go right hand step out, left head kick, or it can be same side. So let's say I go jab cross, right to right. So jab cross. Once again, that's a really nice one there too. Switching up high and low as well, right? So you said how to set up a head kick. Well, let's get them thinking low. Let's get their hands low. So let's attack the body. So go right hand to the body, bang. Now go right hand to the body, high head kick. Who landed that one? Who landed that one on Nate Diaz and finished him with it? The only person to ever finish Nate Diaz, right? Is that still true? Does that still hold true? Oh wait, besides Masvidal now, right? Did you finish him? So right hand to the body, bang. Make him respect it. Get him to flinch. Get him to drop his elbows, drop his hands a little bit. Get that lunging step. Create that angle the same way we do on the head kick, right? We take that step, but now we disguise it with the right hand low. Bang. You start to look low. Your head's low. They don't expect anything to come up high. Bang. They come up top, land that head kick. I think Dillashaw uses that one a lot too. Cool. Turn slow mode. We do like slow motion. Have you trained Taekwondo? Yeah, I have. Thank you. How do I get my left high kick better? Do it more. You know, like try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. It's gonna feel really awkward. The non-dominant side of your hand and your foot, sometimes you just need to spend time training it more. Slow it down, record yourself, making sure that you're going through all the proper motions and steps. And also sometimes it's a flexibility or mobility issue too, to where you're not doing it correctly or it doesn't feel right because you didn't warm up that side of your hip, or the other side of your hip is more developed or something like that. So yeah, just rep it out, just more rep. Do double on your non-dominant side than you do on your dominant side. Set up the question mark kick. Yeah, I mean, the question mark kick kind of is the setup in itself. You throw the teep, you throw the low kick, you look low, you fake low, you act like you're throwing a teep, it comes up center, and then goes around. I'll show that real quick. Oh, how do I do that? How do I do slow mode on here? Hold up. I got live chat, top chat. Is that what it is? Potential spam. Oh, I like that. Yeah, get rid of the spam. Oh, that's a nice feature. All right, real quick, the question mark kick. So this is what the question mark kick looks like. Shoot. Okay. The reason why they call it a question mark kick is because it looks like the leg follows the path of a question mark. It comes up, then it goes out and around. And the question mark kick kind of has a built-in setup of its own, where I go teep to the body, ooh-wee, low kick, ooh-wee, teep to the body, ooh-wee, fake, ooh-wah, and you come over top and land that kick. But sell it with the eyes too. Sell it with the eyes. Like look at the body when you're throwing that fake in the beginning. Ha! And I also like selling it with my breathing too. So it'll be like every time I throw the teep, now I fake it coming up. Don't actually throw the teep, comes around, bang. Now they're waking up 5 minutes later. How do you condition your knuckles? I got a full video on that. It's a slow, gradual process. It's going to take you months and months and months, if not years. You got to go on softer surfaces like a heavy bag. It's very easy to injure your knuckles, but look up knuckle conditioning. I have a full-length video on that. How to improve hand speed and explosiveness. Honestly, it's more simple than you think. Just make that your intention when you're training. Today, I'm going to focus on hand speed and explosiveness. And when I start to fatigue, I'm just going to push through, and I'm going to still develop my hand speed and explosiveness. Still going to push through. Of course, you can do plyometric exercises, clap push-ups, explosive push-ups, so where you're working those fast twitch muscle fibers, things with a medicine ball where you're throwing the medicine ball really fast. But shadowboxing, heavy bag, mitts, just getting the reps of like really, if you want hand speed, doing these motions, then do those motions faster. It's still hard. Even with this slow chat, I still am having trouble. Oh, people just want the setups. How do you set up the spinning elbow? Let's go over the one that Gaston taught me. Gaston Bolaños, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with, probably the most famous spinning elbower in the game. So there's a bunch of different guys that you can study. Gaston, Samart, Paya Karun, some of these guys have great spinning elbows. Setups for the spinning elbow could be off a defense, right? Someone throws a jab and you can slip the jab. So imagine that someone's going here with the jab. Bob's trying to hit me with his left straight, and I'm going to slip to the outside. As I do that, I take that cheat step on the inside with the lead foot. So I slip the punch. Now I follow through with the rear elbow. Back. That's a nice setup for that one there. And you can also do it off of offense, off of another elbow. So I can go, let's say I do a fake teep, right elbow, spinning left elbow, or fake teep, left elbow to a right spinning elbow. The other thing, a nice little hidden tip here. This is another CSA gym secret. I'm going to drop the goal for you guys. Always spin through, right? A lot of times when we teach it, we go bang and then follow. But why would you show your back twice? Show my back, show my back. Instead, follow through. Much harder to catch, to initiate a clinch, to counter. So I go, and follow through. Now I get this nice angle. Now I'm over here. Okay. This is fun. I like this style. How to eliminate elbow pain. Sorry, guys. Not sure what happened there. Really, this is the culprit here. And I do got to warn you guys, I'm already at 9% on my phone. Really sorry about that. So it's not going to be the longest stream today. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. Usually when you have elbow pain, it's for two reasons. One is because you lock out at the top, and you don't want to lock out, meaning like you don't want your elbows to go that way. That's usually what causes elbow pain, is that hyperextension. So always try to keep a slight bend. You still want to try to get that full extension, but don't lock out. That's no good. So always get to like right here when you're at the top. The other thing is too, try not to have the elbows go out so much as back. Tuck them in towards your body, towards your torso. From an angle this way. Instead of going out, bring them down this way. And then you can play with the different placements of your hands. Wider grip, fingers facing outwards, fingers facing inwards, all right? And then also just strengthening the muscles all around, so you can strengthen your forearms, your triceps, even doing like bicep curls. Right? A lot of people are like, you don't need to do that as a fighter. You're never going to do this motion. But if you're doing like over-under deadlifts, you want to have that strong connection between forearm and bicep. So doing bicep curls still can help reinforce all of the elbow and muscles around the elbow. Broadway saying, what's up, man? It's my friend on Twitter. He said, what's up, Shane? Just want to say, longtime fan, and thank you for reviewing the footage. I tagged you on Twitter and giving feedback. Of course, man. I try to give as much feedback as I can. And I know now that I say it, I'm going to get a ton of DMs. I try my best. Realistically, I answer everyone on fightTIPS.com. So if you're a member on there, we have a forum on there, and every member that uploads footage on there, I give thorough feedback to. I wish I could do that for everyone, but to be honest, I'm at 99 plus in all of my inboxes, always, whether it's Instagram, YouTube. Like, it's just, I don't have the time to keep up with everyone. It sucks. I wish I could. So I hope you guys understand. All right. I'm probably at like 7% on my phone, so I'm gonna try to get through as many as possible here. Can you get flexible? Can't get flexible because my outer hip hurts. Could be your IT band. I may have narrow hips. Any suggestions? Don't create excuses like that, like about like genetics. I've never felt like that could, you get so many different success stories in the world where people are like, my doctor said I'll never walk again. And that person went on to be like a world champion wrestler or something like that. So don't create excuses like that. Honestly, like I would say, get a proper warm up. So do your squats, your lunges, side lunges, sumo squats, really warm up that area. You could even get a hot shower and massage those areas. And then do your kicks, right? I check out my chamber, look up type in fightTIPS chamber, CHAMBER, and do those exercises. That'll really help. And basically what it is you're just going to stand in place or put your hand on the wall and lift your knee up into your chest, and then just change the different angles of your leg from a roundhouse kick to a side kick to a front kick to a back kick. And when you think about like the shoulder joint is the same ball and socket joint as the hip. And we do this all the time, no problem. Like, oh, my shoulder hurts and we can do this. But we never do that same with our legs. So think about doing it like that. Like I want to get these small circles. I can lay on my back and do the same thing. And then you want to do your static stretches, which I have tons of videos on that as well. How to increase reaction speed, Ethan. I think you need like improving reaction time. So there's a couple different things you can do. I like doing a lot of stuff with tennis balls. I like playing wall ball is one of them, right? So you can just like bang, bang, bang. Just bouncing the ball off the wall. You can play with someone else to add like another variable to it. You can also just do throw with one hand, catch with the other. And then another one that I learned from Chef Luke, Muay Thai fighter, still amateur, up and coming, big name, very promising. I like this one that he does. He stands about 6 feet from the wall. He'll throw the ball at the wall, and you can't turn to catch it until you hear the bounce. Faster, obviously, the harder. One more time. Rewind that. Beep, beep. All right, now you turn and do the opposite arm. That's a good one for you there for reaction time. Say you want to learn the basics of kickboxing or some stand-up for fun. Are there gyms? Is there gyms for that, and or can you do it at home? Yo, Robbie, I got to be honest, dude. The reason why I'm like sweating before this actual stream is because I've been filming for 5 hours, and I filmed this beginner's course. I called it Fighting Foundations, and it's everything that you need. Seriously, like if I could go back in time and reteach myself as a kid and be like, this is how you need to learn in this order. That is what I'd recommend. And I mean, you said you're looking for a gym, or can you do that at home? This is for members only on fighttips.com. It's $7 a month. I mean, and also the first 14 days are free. So if you can't afford it, check it out for 13 days and then cancel. I honestly won't even be mad, bro. I won't even be mad. But I know that you're going to love all the courses that we have on there. We got the MMA IQ roadmap. Incredible course that Vince put together. Really plays out like a college course. It's all conceptual based in the beginning, then it gets physical. Like hundreds of drills to follow along to for wall work, for takedowns, takedown defenses, submissions, ground and pound, fighting different styled fighters like wrestlers, strikers, karatekas. Like it's excellent stuff. Then I put together my hybrid striking course, which is an amalgamation of my life's work. Like honestly, everything that I've learned over the years, I put it into an organized curriculum. It's progressive, it's comprehensive, everything that you need to know. It's partner-based, but then it also gives solo drills if you don't have a partner to train with. Like I said, I just recorded that getting started. I just hit 5% on my phone, guys. I just recorded that that Fighting Foundations Getting Started course. Today, I'm going to start editing that as soon as I get done on here, and I'm going to have that up by next week. And I think that's going to be a real game changer. So I hope that answers your question, Robbie. You could drop a new fight story. No plans on it. No plans on it. I know they were some of my favorite ones to make and to watch and go back on. CBD worth it? You know, I don't think I'm one that can answer that. I tried it for probably about a month or two. And personally, I didn't see any results. But then again, like I've never had any problem sleeping. I've never had any problem with like muscle soreness or anything like that. So I think each person is different. Our genetics, our genetic makeup and chemistry is different. So I would say give it a try. Like anything else, well, not like anything else, but I think CBD is very safe and cheap enough so you can experiment with it. And if you see results, continue doing it. Is it easier to get my jaw broken in amateur boxing without headgear? I think headgear more than anything is to prevent like cuts from headbutts and accidental elbows and that kind of thing. You're not allowed to have any chin protection on like in USA boxing approved headgear. So headgear that you're allowed to wear in USA boxing. Real quick, I'll show you what I mean. So I got two different types of headgear here. So this one, for instance, the one that has the chin protection, you can't use. Where's my ring side? It's over here. You have to use this one that just has a strap. It doesn't have any like actual protection. So you think about it like that, like I guess in some way it does help connect the mandible, the bottom jaw to the top. But I'd say more than anything, it's about keeping your jaw clenched and not open and biting down on the mouth guard. You know, it's like little things like that we hear in the beginning of our training journey, but we often forget. How do I get rid of the shakes and nervousness you get before a fight? Guys, I got like 4% left on my phone. Number one is recognize it. Like even just asking that question is great. And the next time that you have that feeling, the first thing you need to do is recognize it. The second thing you need to recognize is, am I continuing to keep myself in this fear loop? Right? This is a lot of stuff that Tony Blauer talks about in the Spear system, where he talks about, are you playing this story in your head? Are you playing a movie in your head where the worst case scenario continues to happen? And then you just go down the spiral and it gets worse and worse. And then you're like super shaking, panicking. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to get knocked out in front of everyone. You're thinking about all the things that could go wrong. Instead, think realistically, what's actually going to happen. I trained for this. I'm a fighter. I have grit. I have a warrior spirit. I'm perseverant. People can't hurt me. What's going to happen, even if I do get hit, I'm going to walk right through it like a wet paper bag, and I'm just going to tear this guy apart. Like that's the kind of mentality you have to have. You need to be the hero in your movie. Think about like any hero that you've looked up to, whether it's Goku or Batman or whatever, like that. They never had an ounce of doubt in their mind, right? So you got to be the same way. You just got to be positive, forward thinking. And like I said, just more than anything, just recognize it. When we start to get the shakes, the thing that I like doing is I go, okay, when you're nervous, you're supposed to get the butterflies, you're supposed to get the shakes, you're supposed to get the tunnel vision. So when I do get that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm right on track with where I'm supposed to be. And then usually right as I make that acknowledgement to myself, everything starts to go away. So I'm like, if I wasn't shaking, if I wasn't nervous, I'd be like, what is wrong with me? What am I, not human or whatever? So yeah, the moment that you can like recognize it is usually when things start to settle down. All right. I'm just going to keep going until the phone dies, guys. How to free myself from the Muay Thai clinch. All right, so that's another one that we have. We cover in depth on my courses in the hybrid striking course on fightTIPS.com for members. Crossface, right? So if someone's got like a plum, a dominant clinch on you, you want to push their chin away, and then you want to swim your arm through. You can reach around, pull the shoulder, jut your shoulder into them, swim through, over, under. This is so hard to demonstrate without a person. They got me clinched up like this. You want to go over one hand, under the other, create a little bit of a leverage point, a little bit of space so that you can swim the arm through. Make sense? So there's three different ways. How do you improve head movement? So first of all, technique, understanding like how far to move, how to properly move your body, and then just going through the motions, especially in shadow boxing, doing it all the time. But even when you're on the heavy bag, and then asking your mitt holder to help you react and to practice your slips, your pulls, your rolls, your bobs, your weaves, sitting down, keeping your eyes open usually is the number one problem is people close their eyes. And the second problem is they usually slip and freeze and they admire the work. So they slip one punch and they're like, whoa, no way, I did it. Boom. And then they get caught. So it's got to be like, you got to be a constant movement. You think about like when you swat a fly, If you swat a fly and then it stops midair and admires its work, you're going to catch it on the second one. But the fly just continues moving, right? Me and Ricardo, my fighter, we refer to it as mosquito. I want him to sting someone, and then when they go to swat him, he's gone. Now he's over here. He stings him again. They go to swat him, and he's gone. He's over here. So like constant head movement. After you slip a punch, you got to be moving again. It's not just one movement. It's constant movement. Barbara, I don't understand your question. Is female boxing same as male? I'm not sure what you mean, but yes. I mean, we both have 2 arms, 2 feet, a head and a heart. Okay. Keaton Kiden said, how do you enter punching range safely? So you want to enter with a punch, with a threat. So it could be either a punch or a feint. You can let them come to you, and then you can defend and counter. Or just creating different angles. But either way, you want to get them some sort of reaction out of them. So whether you're stepping in with an actual punch, so okay, let's think about it like this. I hope I got enough time for this. Okay, so Bob, let's say, is outside of my range. I can't hit him from here. I have to take a step in order to hit him now. Well, I'm not just going to step in and then start punching, because if I do that, I get into his bubble. He's going to hit me first. So instead, I have to come in with a threat, coming in with a jab, coming in with a punch, coming in with a feint to something else, so I can get him to flinch, to get him to react. Otherwise, he's coming to me. He's closing off the distance with a punch, and he steps in. I'll step in just for the sake of the Bob not having any legs. Sorry, Bob. He steps into range. Now I counter, maybe a parry, come over top with a cross, or parry and jab, or parry, redirect, create an angle, and then I can follow up with a couple slaps. Is yoga worth it? Yeah, dude, game changer for balance, for breathing, for stretching, mobility. Marie became a certified yoga instructor, getting her 200 hours. And I started taking classes multiple times a week. And yeah, like balance, mobility in my hips, shoulders, and breathing. Like I said, it really was a huge game changer. And then like it introduced me to meditation, which has been a huge help in my life. So yes, I am a big fan of yoga. I've been trying to convince Marie to do some yoga tutorials on fightTIPS. What you think? You do a proper step in 1, 2. Yeah. So we did that one just a little bit ago, but again, step on the jab, step on the cross. Time it so that by the time the punch lands, when you're at full extension, that's when the foot hits the ground. So sync up the hands and the feet. Left hand, left foot, right hand, right foot. 1, 2. How to recover from throwing a missed hook. Bang, don't let that momentum carry you through. And this is the case for any punch. That's a great question. Like, this is why I love shadowboxing so much, because if we're practicing on Bob, we're practicing on a heavy bag, we never miss. We know the thing's always right there. And then we get that bounce back. We get that reciprocation, and it brings our hand right back. But when we're shadowboxing, we're always missing. That's why I love it. The thing is, you should never overcommit on any punch to where you're in a bad spot. You should never throw a right hand and be like, ugh, or throw a hook and be like, ugh. There's 2 parts of a punch. There's the extension and there's the retraction. Even on a hook, I'm going bang, and I'm here. So one thing I like doing is bending the knees, sitting down, and coming back underneath. Hook, under. 1, 2, 3, under. Up, under. Or slipping out. So a good rule of thumb to follow is whatever side you finish with, not always, but whatever side you finish with, create an angle to that side. I finish with a hook, and go out to that side. Finish with the right hand, I go out to that side. And I can do it by either slipping or stepping or sitting down, rolling and stepping. Hook, roll and step, or hook, step, slip. how to choose the right gear. Do your research, review it, or look for reviews. And honestly, you know, you're going to get what you pay for. Favorite MMA fighters. Oh, what do you think of Colby? What everyone else thinks of Colby. Favorite MMA fighter, Vince the Anomaly, Vince Cachero. All right, my phone's going to die any second, guys. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and a reminder that on Saturday, May 9th, right when UFC 249 starts, we're going to go live on here with Vince, 2 other of my buddies, and we're gonna go live again. So Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So see you guys then. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for always supporting and tuning in. But I'll answer as many questions as I can before the phone dies. Should I check leg kicks with my rear leg or lead leg as a southpaw? It depends on the range. If they're really close and they're really trying to step in deep, then you can do the rear leg. Otherwise, you can cross check. That's what you're asking. Like, if you're going against an orthodox guy, can you check this way? Yeah, you can cross check. Or coming here. So both. If he's a little bit further, because here's the thing: what you want to do is when someone throws a kick, you want to try to check. You're checking with this part of your shin, your tibia, because it's the thickest, right? It comes up like this. It's thin down here and it's wide up here. This is the hardest part. So you want to check with this part, and you want to try to block their kick at their foot or the lower half of their shin, the thin part, so you can do the most damage. That's the thing. Like, most people don't realize that about checking. It's not just about protecting yourself. It's about causing damage to the guy who's trying to kick you. So now every time he tries to kick, he's like, man, it hurts my shin, it hurts my foot, it hurt my instep, hurt my ankle. So try to find the range to where, am I lifting my lead with a cross check or a rear? Because I want to try to block the thick part of my shin on the top of his foot and cause as much damage to him as possible. Great question, Jack. Man, it is hot in the fightTIPS laboratory. Weightlifting exercises for MMA. Yeah. No, like strength and conditioning. You know, you want it to be plyometric, not always. Plyometric being like explosive, fast twitch. We also want to do stability exercises for the joints to heal them. We have a couple different videos on there. I've got like 10 weight exercises for fighters, and then I did joint stability exercises with Adam Lerner. Two different types of exercises. You also want to do rotational stuff. You want to do asymmetrical stuff, like bench press is good, overhead press is good, squats are good. But these are all movements where the left side of the body is doing the exact same thing as the right side. In fighting, that's never the case. We're doing something different on the right than the left side. So you want to kind of train uneven. So I like sandbags are good, maces, medicine balls, and then other weighted exercises, side lunges, regular lunges, single arm stuff, single leg stuff. So yeah, you want to think like, am I doing it for supplementing my fight training to be more explosive, or aiding in the movements of my fight movements? Or am I doing it for injury prevention to build up the muscles around my joints to prevent injury? And you want to be doing both. My favorite active boxer, Triple G is definitely like my favorite. I don't know, like I'm usually not like a fan of people, but there's something about Triple G I absolutely love. Although I think he's on his way out. I'm kind of nervous for him to go against Canelo for the third fight. I think he's out of his prime, and I think Canelo is very much in his prime. Love Canelo. And then the younger guys, man, like the up-and-coming guys. Of course, Ryan Garcia is a buddy of mine. And then everyone in that bracket I love. Yo, you know who I really like? H2O. Anyone follow Ashton Silv on Instagram? That kid, he's 15 years old. So skilled. So slick with his boxing. Loma, love Lomachenko. Trying to think who else, because I like the classics. I like the active guys. Chocolatito. Yeah, couple names. All right. 1,000 subscribers before August says, I have a question. Bro, you got to just ask the question. This chat is moving too quick. Any opinion on 52 blocks? Yo, 52 blocks is a myth, dog. No, honestly, I've never heard anything. That's all I've ever heard, is that like it's a myth, it's made up. So I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about 52 blocks. The theory behind it seemed pretty cool, though. It honestly just seems like boxing with a focus on like bare knuckle. I mostly see it a lot of blocking with the tip of the elbow. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of guys will do that when blocking kicks too. They try to, like I said, the same thing with checking kicks. They try to block the top of the instep on the pointy part of the elbow. Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense. Go sock the dummy in the background. Dude, I need a break. I'm training all day. Is that it? That's it.